the SAVE plan, which is a way to dramatically reduce how much people will actually pay in their loans.
Sure.
The numbers get kind of complicated, but basically you pay no more than 5% of your income above 225% of the federal poverty level. For a lot of people, that means you don't pay anything back at all.
Sure.
Or if you do, it's going to be very much, not very much, 5% of your income above a certain threshold. Not that much for most people, and then you can get the loan completely written off over between 10 and 20 years. So a very, very generous plan.
Welcome to Reporter's Notebook, where we talk to the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the stories breaking on their beats. I'm Jim Antle, and I'm joined today by White House reporter Haisten Willis. Haisten, the Biden administration is engaged in some new activity to help student loan borrowers. What is the latest move that the Biden administration has made?
Yeah, well, it's not super new. They have they've forgiven a whole bunch of student loans even after their first plan to cancel student loans was struck down. So
Sure.
that was last summer. They've since issued another 144 billion in loan cancellation for about 4 million people. I think what you're referring to is this thing they're rolling out called the SAVE plan, which is a way to dramatically reduce how much people will actually pay in their loans.
Sure.
The numbers get kind of complicated, but basically you pay no more than 5% of your income above 225% of the federal poverty level. For a lot of people, that means you don't pay anything back at all.
Sure.
Or if you do, it's going to be very much, not very much, 5% of your income above a certain threshold. Not that much for most people, and then you can get the loan completely written off over between 10 and 20 years. So a very, very generous plan. However, just breaking recently here is that there's a lawsuit from Kansas and several other Republican-led states challenging the legality of that, setting up another court battle.
So Kansas may be leading a red state rebellion against this latest initiative.
Absolutely. It's almost like a deja vu thing because Biden announced the original one in August of 2022, just in time for the midterms, detractors would say, and then that was eventually struck down. Here we have another student loan cancellation forgiveness plan announced, and another lawsuit from a lot of the same players. It's Kansas and Nebraska and Missouri, these Republican-led states, a lot of them kind of in the middle of the country. And this one could also end up in the Supreme Court. One thing that's going to be interesting that's a little bit different is the way the timing worked out. That previous one was announced just 6 weeks before the midterms, and then was blocked by a judge like 2 or 3 days after the election. So really good timing, I guess, for the Biden administration. This time, this lawsuit's coming in March. There's plenty of time, I think, for a judge to potentially block it and cause complications for Biden from an electoral standpoint.
A little bit of March madness. So
Absolutely.
President Biden, one thing that has been going pretty well for him in his re-election campaign has been his fundraising. And most recently, he's been palling around with some former presidents of his own party while he's been raising money.
Absolutely, yeah. He's bringing back the greatest hits, I guess. It's
getting
Bill
the band
Clinton.
back together.
Yeah, absolutely. Blues Brothers, whatever you want to call
That's
it.
right.
Yeah, Bill Clinton from the '90s, Obama from the late 2000s and the teens, doing a big fundraiser in New York City. Our own Christian Day Talk was on the trip. Got to travel with the president to go to that. They announced actually before the fundraiser even happened that it had raised, I think, $25 million. So they're way out ahead of Trump on fundraising,
Sure.
and only going to help having this big New York shindig with a bunch of celebrities, Stephen Colbert, Mindy Kaling. I think Queen Latifah is going to be performing. A lot of brouhaha in New York, just raise a lot of money.
Now, obviously, that's all pretty positive for Biden and his campaign, but there is one risk, I suppose, in that all of these famous people, including a couple famous former presidents, could outshine him a little bit, no?
I guess that's always a risk with Biden. Yeah, I mean, it's almost some reason he got elected, I think, against Trump was he was supposed to be kind of the sort of normal, stately, been here a long time,
Right.
relatively boring person in comparison to Trump. I think that was almost some of the appeal with him. Now, but you're right. He's not maybe the dynamic figure that a Bill Clinton or a President Obama was. So we'll see if that ends up happening, if they end up kind of like stealing the spotlight from him in New York. But I think as long as they get the big successful fundraiser, a lot of money in the coffers, I think they'll be happy.
3 presidents and 1 queen. Thank you, Haisten.
Absolutely. All right.
You can read Haisten and the rest of our political team's coverage at washingtonexaminer.com.